remember when Douglas Murray said, "What are you feeding and why are you feeding that particular thing, that particular ideology or that particular line of thought?" Because, ladies and gentlemen, it appears that Candy Owens has been feeding a great deal of hate and spreading a lot of lies about the Jewish people, about Israelis. We've seen all of the lies. I've reported on many of them as well. And today we're going to get away from her complaining about the Brigitte Macron court case and go straight into something that is really concerning. Number one, her hatred of the Jews. And number two, her lies of the Jewish people. And number three, how many people actually follow along with Candace Owens' narrative or hatred of the Jews. And, well, what I find really interesting is she has a massive audience, countless people following her, millions, right? And what's interesting to me is she doesn't want to make a post about all the Christians that are being massacred over in Africa at the moment, or the actual genocide that is really going on in Yemen or in Syria or in many different countries. She doesn't want to talk about any of that. And it takes literally 5 seconds to make a post and say that she's praying for them. No. Keep in mind what I said a moment ago about what are you feeding and why are you feeding it. For her, it's a particular narrative of hatred and spreading lies about one particular group of people. Very much like the transgender ideology, right? They're a protected group of characteristics. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? She is going after an actual group of people, lying about them, hating everything they stand for, and she'll use whatever means necessary. And that includes a lie that is being circulated by many people saying that Israel is haven to PDF files. I was trying to figure out how I was going to say that without getting censored. So there is a narrative that says that Israel is safe havening loads of these PDF files. They're able to walk free in the streets of Israel. So therefore, everyone is fleeing to Israel that is a child, you know what? Yeah, you guys get the picture, okay? So she's been propping up that narrative for quite some time. And there was a story that came out yesterday of a member who worked for Netanyahu's cabinet that was found out to be a PDF file, a child, you know what? And as a result, you had Cenk Uygur, the usual suspects, blow up about it and say, oh, this is truly horrible. This is all of the Israeli people. For some reason, it seemed to get the attention of all of the instigators that hate Israel. And for whatever reason, one man and one man's actions, for some reason, dictates all the other millions of Israelis. That apparently one man's actions he's responsible for pretty much all of the other Israeli, like they're all the same. They're all harboring, they're all protecting the PDF files. For whatever reason, I find it truly absurd, but Candy hasn't really looked into Catholics or certain priests that have done quite a few heinous child, you know what, acts in the past, and how many priests have been caught in the act of that, how much Catholicism has been wrapped up in child, you know what. But no, if it has to do with Israel, she's going to go straight for the attack and, well, paint the picture that Israel is a haven and a protector of PDF files. And as a result, we are, as a nation, America, Australia, you name it, the ones that are allies with Israel, we are protecting those very ones. And she also hasn't called out Islam when they worship Muhammad. And Muhammad was a child abuser and molester and all that sort of stuff as well. Haven't they read the Quran? I don't think they have. I don't think Candy Owens really cares about that. So with that all being said, here's what Candy Owens had to say in regards to this story. Nothing to see here. Very ominous, isn't it? Nothing to see here, guys. Nothing at all. But I'm going to show you it anyway. Here you go. Just another Israeli trying to solicit, you know what, with an American child who Netanyahu made sure was released back to Israel. Ever wonder why the Star of David used to be the flag of Morocco? Well, that is downright nonsense. But anyway, do you know what elites do in Morocco? She's alluding to PDF files stuff. You guys get the picture, right? She is trying to use this to exploit the nation of Israel and paint them all as evil, twisted, wicked humans, which to me is very disingenuous. And it's actually from the pit of hell, if you ask me. Loads of people were in the comment section going, you honestly have lost the plot, woman. You've really lost the plot. Exploiting a serious crime to spread conspiracy theories and broad cultural smears is deeply irresponsible. It's not just irresponsible, it's dangerous. The focus should remain on accountability for individuals who commit such acts, not on demonizing entire nations, religions, or symbols. Justice must be specific, not rooted in prejudice. Now, that is what a person that has common sense would think, right? Not Candace Owens, not someone that has got a vendetta against the nation of Israel or against the people of Israel. Not someone that has a vendetta against Netanyahu. And it all comes down to what? You may be wondering? Gaza. For whatever reason, this whole entire Gaza conflict is the most talked about thing in the last 2-3 years, believe it or not. And it's thanks to podcasters like Candace Owens, Dave Smith, Piers Morgan, you name it, the usual suspects. How crazy and how stupid is all of that? They're spreading dangerous lies towards an entire group of people. That is insane to me. I can't. But yet they let the Muslims go. I don't understand it. The Muslims actually, the Quran says you're able to take young children as you know what slaves. You're able to marry young children and then grape them whenever you feel like it. That's the religion of Islam. But yet Israel is the demonic one, apparently. And then they go after the Talmud. They say, oh, the Talmud says this. You know, it's more just a line of thinking, not something that not everyone practices. But there's more Muslims practicing the Quran than there are Jews that believe wholeheartedly in the Talmud. Just pointing that out. But according to Candace Owens, they're all bad. There's all this evil cabal. This evil cabal of Jews that are out to get all of us, ladies and gentlemen. They're all corrupt. They're all bad. I hate to break it to you, Candy, but every government in the world is corrupt. And there is disgusting, evil things that go on in every single government. PDF files are demonic. So are Jew haters. Jesus is perfect. Jesus is Jewish. Jesus is king. Lion of Judah says. And there's also another quote from him. He responds to Ian Carroll, who's, again, spreading this hatred of the Jewish people. Now, again, I think PDF files should be caught out and they should be punished. And I don't think they should be released from prison. I'm actually in favor of the you-know-what penalty. I'm actually in favor of that for someone like a PDF file. But you know what? I'm not the judge, jury, or executioner. That's God's job. So, yes, I may absolutely hate what that person has done, taking away a child's innocence. And even God says it's better for them to just hang themselves so that God doesn't find you. The reason why he says it at the bottom of the ocean so that it's actually harder for Christ to find that person, because I guarantee you when Christ finds a person that's taken away a child's innocence, it's not going to be good for them. It's not. So if this Israeli did the heinous acts, I really believe God's going to deal with him. And it's not for us, like we can also commentate and say that it's horrible, it's despicable, and he deserves righteous punishment. that is all good and well. But to then go and demonize an entire nation and say it's all Israel's fault. Israel is again harboring. No, that is disingenuous and dangerous. And again, I'll go back to the very beginning with what I said. What are you feeding and why are you feeding it? What are you trying to do with this? It's clear as day, isn't it? Ian Carroll goes, God's chosen people, question mark. So you are canceling out one man because of what one man did and saying, yeah, God's chosen people. Okay. What about Christians? What about Catholics? There are bad people everywhere, man. You can't make a statement and say everyone is just like they're going to protect that guy. It's ridiculous. God's chosen people, according to Romans 11, are first and foremost Israel, the people he foreknew and has not rejected, even though many turned away from Christ. See, the New Testament points people to the fact that the Jews today are still God's chosen people. God has not forgotten his covenant. But everyone's going, oh, no, he has, because the Jews of today, they're different. They've gone through different things, right? Absurd. Within Israel, there is always a faithful remnant chosen by grace, showing that God's promises have not failed. At the same time, Gentile believers are grafted into the same olive tree through faith in Jesus, sharing in the blessings of God's covenant. Together, Jew and Gentile form one people of God. Yet Paul stresses that Israel still has a special role in God's plan, and in the end, all Israel will be saved, proving that God's call and covenants are irreversible or irrevocable. You can't get rid of it. Here's the thing. Victims of clergy inquiry. So if Candy Owens, Ian Carroll, and everyone else wants to paint Israel as being PDF file protectors, how about this? Victims of clergy inquiry. Some 216,000 children, mostly boys, have been, you know what, abused by clergy in the French Catholic Church since 1950, a damning new inquiry has found. That was in October 2021. So I'll say it again. All child abusers deserve the you-know-what penalty. And I believe that God's going to have his justice. He's going to have his way one day with all of them. If you have done the wrong thing, obviously, he's going to have his justice. And it's going to be far greater than what anyone here on earth could ever think of. Let me just make that abundantly clear. But Candace Owens and the whole lot of them are dangerous individuals, painting an entire group of people that are actually innocent, all because of one man or because of a select few. It's nuts to me. It really is. It's harmful. I can only imagine how the innocent Israelis must be feeling. The ones that haven't done any of this. By the way, black people, white people, doesn't matter. There are sick people out there. Doesn't matter the religion, culture, creed, whatever. There's sick, twisted, evil people out there. But Candace uses it as an opportunity to blast and paint Israel as really the enemy. Crazy, isn't it? She's dangerous. Extremely, extremely dangerous. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.